Good morning, happy Friday, and welcome to this week's episode of Sunrise Small Talk. Today is a cold one. Winter finally hit us. I'm excited. Many of you probably are not. Today, we're going to talk about markets, investments, and the forecast for 2026. And then also, I'm just going to have a little bit of real talk with you and explain to you why I am dressed as such. Here we go. Let's dive in. So, first, a little bit about markets and forecasts. I'm going to give you some awesome resources, video articles, so you can pick and choose your preferred method and your preferred deliverable. I'm going to show you where you can go to hear straight from the horse's mouths, Ryan and Sonu. By the way, Ryan Dietrich, our chief market strategist, was named one of the oracles of Wall Street. So for 2025, he was named by Business Insider magazine as one of the oracles of Wall Street for being one of the most accurate market predictors for 2025. So congrats to you, Ryan. That's awesome. I am glad you are an extension of my team. And for those of you watching, I hope that you can find some appreciation in the fact that one of the oracles of Wall Street is one of the guys behind the scenes making some of the moves and changes in the portfolios and the money that you are invested in. So big congrats again to Ryan. Now, I thought about changing clothes and looking a little more professional before I did this, but I figured I'm not going to do that because I want to be real. And when it comes to markets, and for those of us who own businesses, we know that sometimes things are not exactly perfect. Now, the market has pretty much been perfect the last few years since coming off the heels of a bad market in 2022. But the market is not always perfect. So even though we expect a great year in 2026, and you'll see that in some of the forecasting that I give you, we can't always expect markets to be perfect. Obviously, Greenland is in the news right now. We don't know what's going to happen there. It did cause a little bit of market jitters. I believe that was on Tuesday, fully recovered Wednesday and Thursday. But I bring this all up just to say that we never know what to expect, both in our personal lives as well as in our financial lives. On the personal side of things, I'm going to shift gears for a minute and just tell you a little bit of a story about how the week went for me. Today is actually the first day Ashley and Kelsey are in the office. They were out sick all week. Monday was a holiday. Matt and I were trying to cover for the entire team, burning the candle at both ends. And then the reason I'm dressed like this is because last night I had a hockey game and I didn't get home till about midnight. And then, as such, as a business owner, as many of you are aware, sometimes you just can't sleep because you're thinking about all the stuff you have to get done. So my brain woke me up at about 3, and finally by 4, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna put on some clothes and come into the office. Now, when you get to the office that early, it's pretty chilly in here. They don't always turn the heat on. So if it's 10 degrees outside, it is about 60 degrees or so in here. So here is just a little secret of mine that I'm going to share with you. This hoodie right here from the Polar Plunge, which is a jump, can't do that, right? Jump into Horsetooth Reservoir that they do, might be this weekend, actually did it a few years ago. This hoodie lives in this drawer right over here in front of me. I keep it here because oftentimes my brain does wake me up, and I'm not complaining about that. I love what I do. I love being the CEO and the founder of the firm. But I just share that with you to let you know that sometimes, obviously when you're in the office, I like to be dressed up and looking good, but it isn't always like that. And I say that just because markets aren't always what we expect, and life in general is not always what we expect. Furthermore, I actually have some pillows and blankets. That's what's in those drawers behind me. Sometimes I take little naps underneath my desk. So there is my showing you all my cards for the day. And then also another thing that happened in the personal life, this was Tuesday or Wednesday. A good friend of ours from the gym had a stroke, 28 years old, one of the healthiest, most fit guys at the gym had a stroke. So he's been in ICU, so we've been in and out of the hospital visiting him. Thoughts and prayers to Alex should have, and hoping that he has a full recovery. We'll spend some more time seeing him today. So anyway, let's dive in. That's not why you're here. Let's talk a little bit about some resources. I'm gonna change my screen here and show you where you can go to get video, article, PDF, whatever your cup of tea is. So bear with me while I change screens. All right, here we are, hoffmeyerwealth.com. I've mentioned this many times in the Sunrise Small Talk videos, but you're going to go over to Insights and then Market and Investments. If you just want to stay abreast of the markets, we put out a video every week. It's about 5 minutes long. It is this one right here, Ryan Sonu with the blue background. 5 minutes unbiased and just great information if you want to stay informed about what's going on in the markets and the economy. Great place to go to get that information. So, a few things I'm going to point out. This is so a couple video resources and a couple articles, some in a short version and a long version of each. So, right here, right on the top, Riding the Wave, this one is 1 minute, came out on January 15th. If you click that, that's actually going to take you to a 30-minute video. Pull that up here that Ryan and Sonu did. So if you really want to dive into the markets and see what our team is forecasting and thinking, hop on there. Great video. If that is a little too much and you don't have the attention span to watch that for 30 minutes, I would recommend going to this 7-minute video. Same topic, riding the wave. That's the theme of 2026, riding the wave. Same topic, just a shorter version. So this one is 7 minutes long. And then, if you prefer to read the comment, a couple places I'm going to take you. So, this 5-minute article here is a summary of everything that we talk about in our Riding the Wave 2026 market forecast. And yes, this is the one I wanted. There's a couple charts that they pulled from the longer PDF, which I'll show you in a second. And the main one I'll show you is this one right here. This is our leading economic indicator. It's proprietary to us. Carson Investment Research does all the research behind this. And this simply tells us, is there going to be a recession or is there not going to be a recession? It's been a pretty accurate market forecaster. And in recent years, even in 2022, I think most of you know this story, but our investment team said we're going to hit all-time highs in 2022. Sorry, this was 2023. Everybody laughed at us. Nobody felt the same. And sure enough, we hit all-time highs in 2023. So that's just a 5-minute read there. And if you want the full long version, this says 3 minutes, but this one from January 8th actually has the link to the PDF that has the full 40 or so page version. So if you scroll down to the bottom, this highlighted, nope, here it is right here. Way down on the bottom under Explore Market Outlook in 2026, click on that, and that is going to bring you the entire PDF. So this is great content. Our team is awesome. Again, Ryan was named one of the oracles of Wall Street for being one of the most accurate market forecasters for 2025. So, a lot of this content he's put together. One more thing I want to point out on this PDF here is this is just what we're doing behind the scenes, not me. They don't ask me, they don't care what my thoughts are, which is probably better because the folks who make these decisions are a lot smarter than I am. But this is just a little glimpse of we have this broken down by equities and fixed income meaning bonds. And this just shows everything we're doing daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annually, overweighting, underweighting, or assigning a neutral weight to the different sectors of the different asset types. So that's something that's always going on in your portfolios, whether you see it or not. So if you get trade notifications, that's why. That's what's going on behind the scenes there. So I hope that was helpful. Feel free to share the video, and we will see you next week. I apologize for looking like a slob on the video. But you know the story behind it. So hopefully you can forgive me. Take care and have a good one, and we'll see you soon.